You're about to board your next cruise. Suitcases packed, tickets ready, excitement is sky high. But here's the thing, some of what you packed might never make it on board. Cruise lines quietly updated their rules for 2025, and what used to be harmless, like a power strip or a Bluetooth speaker, can now get you flagged at security. After more than 30 cruises, I've learned that every year brings a new round of surprises. Tiny rule changes that can turn a smooth sail into a stressful check-in. By the end of this video, you'll know the 12 new items and habits cruise lines have officially banned in 2025, and how to avoid being the passenger who finds out too late. We'll go step by step, from simple packing mistakes to the newest tech gadgets that are now off limits. And trust me, number 12 is one even veteran travelers didn't see coming. Because once you reach the terminal, what's in your luggage decides whether you start your vacation or start explaining it to security. So number 1, power strips and multi-plug outlets. This one caught a lot of travelers off guard. Power strips and multi-plug outlets, the same ones people use in hotel rooms, are now officially banned on several major cruise lines, including Royal Caribbean and Carnival. The reason? Fire risk. Cruise ships have extremely sensitive electrical systems. Even a single power surge from a cheap travel strip can trip circuits or overload wiring in your cabin. For years, most travelers got away with packing them. Some even swore by the ones labeled cruise safe. But in 2025, both Royal Caribbean and Carnival updated their official prohibited lists, and those adapters made the cut. If security sees a power strip in your bag, it'll be pulled out and held until the end of your trip. And no, labeling it surge protected doesn't help. Those are actually more likely to be flagged because of the internal voltage regulators. Here's the smart move. Bring a USB-only charging hub instead. No surge protection, no outlets, just USB ports. They're light, approved, and safe for every cabin type. It's a small change that makes a big difference, because if you rely on a multi-plug adapter for your camera, phone, and tablet, that's one less stress point before your vacation even begins. Before we go any further, you can grab your free cruise packing checklist linked below. It's updated for 2025 with every new restriction already marked. It'll save you from that, oh, what did I forget moment at the terminal gate. It's the exact checklist I use before every trip. All right, back to it, because the next update affects one of the most common travel gadgets people still bring on board. Number 2, travel routers and network devices. For years, experienced travelers used pocket Wi-Fi routers to share connections with family or to boost onboard speeds. Not anymore. In early 2025, cruise lines officially banned travel routers, satellite dishes, and all personal networking gear. Royal Caribbean's policy lists them under devices that interfere with ship operations. Carnival added similar language a few months later. The reasoning makes sense. Modern cruise ships rely on complex internal communication systems. From bridge operations to emergency coordination, even small routers can overlap with restricted signal frequencies and cause interference. Now you might think, but it's just a tiny travel router. How much harm could it do? Well, the problem is, these devices auto-broadcast signals that can bounce around the ship's internal network. Security officers can see them instantly, and once detected, they're removed and held for the remainder of the cruise. The smarter alternative is to use the ship's official Wi-Fi plans. They're not perfect, and yes, sometimes slow, but they're safe and fully integrated into the onboard system. Some lines even offer chat-only options for messaging apps, which makes staying connected affordable and reliable. It's a quiet change, but it signals something bigger. Cruise lines are becoming more protective of their digital infrastructure. Just like airports restrict wireless devices, ships are tightening how guests connect at sea. And there's a theme starting to appear here. Shared spaces, shared safety. The next ban takes that even further, because this one isn't about what's in your bag, it's about what comes out of your bag. Number 3, Bluetooth and portable speakers in public areas. Music is a part of every great vacation. The sound of the ocean, the beat of the deck party, that one friend who plays Margaritaville way too often. But in 2025, Carnival made a major policy shift. No more personal speakers in public areas. That includes Bluetooth, portable, and wireless types, even those tiny clip-on ones. Why? Noise. After hundreds of guest complaints about volume wars between groups on pool decks and balconies, Carnival decided to make a change. It's now part of their official safety information page. All personal speakers are held at security and returned at the end of your trip. Now, this isn't just a vibe issue, it's about atmosphere. Cruise lines want to preserve calm, shared environments. They're designing ships for relaxation, not competition over playlists. If you want to listen to music, you can still use headphones or the entertainment options built into your cabin TV system. Some newer ships even have Bluetooth-enabled mirrors that connect privately to your device. No noise for anyone else. What used to be normal, bringing a small speaker to your balcony or hot tub, now risks getting your item confiscated. And trust me, nobody wants to spend the first day explaining a speaker to security. Cruise lines aren't trying to make things harder. They're just adapting to how passengers use technology. Every year, more gadgets find their way on board, and the goal is to keep all of them from clashing, literally and figuratively. These new rules are part of that shift. Fewer risks, fewer disruptions, smoother sailing. But we're only getting started, because the next few bans, they go beyond convenience and start touching on safety, mobility, and even privacy. These are the rules most travelers never think about until they're already standing at the security scanner. So stay with me, because what's coming next includes items most people still assume are perfectly fine to bring, and that's where the real surprises begin. Cruise lines aren't just banning tech, they're also tightening rules on what you can cook, blend, or even monitor inside your cabin. These changes are small on paper, but big once you start packing. So let's start with one that used to fly under the radar until this year. Number 4. Blenders and immersion blenders. Smoothie lovers. This one's a maybe ban, but it's getting stricter every year. Cruise lines like Royal Caribbean and Carnival already prohibit small appliances that generate heat or use spinning blades, including coffee makers, kettles, and hot plates. And while blenders and immersion blenders aren't officially named on every list, multiple travel blogs and passenger reports say they're being flagged more often during bag scans in 2025. The reason's simple: safety and spills. Cabins have compact outlets and limited ventilation. Even a small leak or jammed motor can trigger a short circuit or smoke alarm, and that's all it takes for security to pull the item. So while the rule isn't new, the enforcement is. Think of blenders as part of that same high-risk appliance category. Fine at home, not worth the trouble at sea. Your better move? Use the ship's cafe or smoothie bar. Most modern ships now offer fresh protein blends and specialty coffees. No mess, no cleanup, no risk. It's one less thing to pack, and one less chance of setting off an alarm before breakfast. Number 5. Baby monitors. If you're sailing with little ones, you've probably relied on a baby monitor. It's familiar, comforting, and part of every family routine. But here's where things get tricky. Baby monitors aren't officially listed on every cruise line's prohibited items page. Yet several travel reports and passenger experiences suggest they're increasingly being flagged at security in 2025. Why? Because most baby monitors transmit radio signals, and those signals can overlap with a ship's internal communication frequencies. Even a low-power model can cause interference with the ship's emergency or navigation systems. And that's why many security teams now treat them as restricted devices, even if the rule isn't written in bold print. Not every ship enforces it yet, but the risk is real enough that bringing one could mean having it held until disembarkation. If you want peace of mind, use the ship's in-cabin phone system to check in with family in nearby rooms. On newer ships, the cruise line's official mobile app lets guests under the same booking message each other. No radio waves, no interference, and no security questions. It's an inconvenient update for parents, but it makes sense. Cruise ships run on carefully managed frequencies. Every signal, every channel has a role to play in safety, and keeping them clear means faster responses in emergencies and quieter nights for everyone on board. And speaking of safety, the next new restriction isn't about communication, it's about movement. Number 6. Motorized scooters and mopeds. 2025 didn't bring a brand new rule here, but it did bring stricter enforcement of one that's been hovering in the gray zone for years. Personal motorized scooters, mopeds, and mini e-bikes are now being treated as restricted items on several cruise lines, including Royal Caribbean and Carnival. Not the mobility scooters used for medical reasons, those are fully permitted with documentation. This applies to recreational rideables people use for port exploration. Why the crackdown? Two reasons: battery safety and congestion. Lithium-powered scooters have been linked to fire incidents in airports and ferry terminals, and cruise ships are taking no chances. Even when powered off, their batteries can overheat under pressure or humidity. And beyond the fire risk, narrow ship hallways and elevators make these devices a safety hazard for both passengers and crew. Official websites don't spell out e-scooters in every list yet, but travel advisories and first-hand reports confirm that they're being pulled to security with increasing frequency. So if you're planning port excursions, the smarter move is to rent locally. Most major ports now offer approved e-scooter and bike rentals that meet land-based security standards, so you still get the freedom minus the confiscation risk. Think of it as trading a little independence for a lot of peace of mind, because once your scooter gets tagged and taken, you won't see it again until the ship docks back home. All right, we're halfway through, and the next few bans are where even seasoned cruisers get caught. These aren't old rules. They're the quiet updates most travelers miss until it's too late. So stay with me, because what's coming next decides whether your cruise feels calm or chaotic. Number 7. Personal drones. Drones have always been a gray area, but in 2025, cruise lines are making the rule crystal clear: no drone flights at sea. Royal Caribbean, Disney, and several others re-emphasized existing bans, reminding guests that drones can't be launched, flown, or operated anywhere on board, even for private photos. You can still pack one for land excursions, but it must stay in your luggage while the ship is sailing. Why the renewed focus? Smaller, cheaper drones mean more people trying to use them from balconies, pool decks, and private islands, creating safety risks for lifeboat drills, restricted zones, and wildlife. Security teams now scan luggage for drone parts and hold them until disembarkation. If you forget to declare it, you could lose both the drone and your boarding privileges. So the message is simple: leave flight to the captain. Enjoy the view. No remote control required. Number 8. Handheld radios and walkie-talkies. Walkie-talkies used to be the go-to tool for families and groups on board. But in 2025, high-power and long-range models are being quietly restricted. Modern ships use many of the same radio frequencies for crew communications and safety systems. Even small devices can accidentally interfere with those channels, especially models with multiple bands or boosted wattage. Not every walkie-talkie is banned, but if safety spots a model that overlaps with restricted ranges, it'll be pulled and held until the end of your trip. The safer choice? Use your ship's official mobile app. Most cruise lines now include built-in chat features for a few dollars or free. No static, no interference, and no risk. It's a small shift that keeps signals clear and everyone safer. Because when the bridge calls for quiet channels, you want their message coming through clean. If you're watching this far, you're the kind of traveler who wants more than surface-level tips. You want to understand the why behind every rule, how to get upgrades, avoid rookie mistakes, and make every cruise smoother than the last. That's exactly why I built the Cruise Smarter community. It's completely free, and it's where I share everything I can't fit into these videos. Detailed packing breakdowns, hidden cabin hacks, new policy updates, all in one place. If you want to master every part of cruising, from upgrades to hidden perks, join the Cruise Smarter community using the link below. It's where travelers become experts, and every voyage feels effortless. The next 4 are where the real surprises begin. Let's start with an item most people never imagined could be considered a threat. Number 9. Electric blankets and heating devices. Here's one that surprises a lot of first-time cruisers: electric blankets and heating pads. Even the small travel-size ones are now officially banned on most cruise lines. Royal Caribbean lists them under flammable items and heating elements in their prohibited policy. The reason's simple: fire risk. In a cruise cabin, even a tiny heating coil can overheat fast, and there's nowhere for that heat to escape. And security doesn't make exceptions for auto shutoff or low voltage. If it generates heat, it gets flagged. If you need extra warmth, skip the gadget. Ask your cabin attendant for an extra blanket, or pack a light fleece. Much safer and far less likely to end up in the confiscated items bin. It's a small detail, but one that keeps every voyage running smooth, calm, and fire-free. Number 10. Candles and open flames. This one's not new, but it's one cruise lines never relax on. Candles, incense, and anything with an open flame are strictly banned across all major cruise lines, including Royal Caribbean, Carnival, and Norwegian. You'll find it clearly written on their official prohibited items list under fire hazards and heating elements. The reason never changes. Fire is the single greatest risk at sea. Even a small wick or smoldering incense stick can set off smoke alarms, or worse, start a cabin fire. That's why these items are always removed during security screening. No questions, no exceptions. So if you like setting a mood, use LED tea lights or electronic diffusers instead. They give you the glow and scent without the danger. It's a simple swap that keeps your cabin cozy and your crew safe. Because when you're miles from shore, no flame really does mean no flame. Number 11. Cabin door decorations and symbols. Decorating your cabin door has always been a part of the cruise fun. Birthdays, anniversaries, themed trips. But in late 2024, Carnival quietly began cracking down on certain door symbols after a viral controversy over upside-down pineapple decorations. Now, to be clear, cruise lines haven't banned all door magnets or decorations. You can still personalize your door with signs or photos. What's changed is enforcement around inappropriate or misleading imagery. The upside-down pineapple, once seen as a lighthearted tropical symbol, is widely recognized as a discreet sign used in the swinger community. After multiple incidents where families complained or posted viral videos, Carnival reportedly asked guests to remove such decor. There's no official policy against general door magnets, but cruise staff may ask for items to be taken down if they cause complaints or are considered suggestive. The smart move? Keep your cabin decor simple, family-friendly, and easy to remove. Command strips and flat magnets are fine. Just avoid symbols that could send the wrong message. Cruising is still about fun, not confusion, and a clean door keeps the good vibes going. Number 12. Surge-protected power adapters. For years, people argued this one didn't count. Surely one single surge-protected adapter is fine, they'd say. Well, not anymore. The rule is now crystal clear. Surge-protected adapters and power strips are banned on major cruise lines including Royal Caribbean and Carnival. Royal Caribbean's official prohibited items list specifically mentions power strips, extension cords, and surge-protected devices. The reason is simple: safety. Those built-in fuses can overheat or trip a ship's electrical circuit, and in a closed cabin environment, that's a real fire risk. Even adapters labeled cruise safe aren't guaranteed to pass inspection anymore. Security teams are instructed to remove any item with visible surge components or reset buttons. Now, if you need extra outlets, the safe alternative is a USB-only charging hub. No surge protection, no outlets, just clean power. It's a small adjustment that keeps the ship's electrical system stable and your devices and vacation running smoothly. These 12 updates show where cruising is headed: smarter systems, stricter standards, and safer journeys. They're not about limiting fun, they're about making sure every voyage runs smoothly for everyone on board. So when you pack for your next trip, think less about what you can bring and more about what you don't need. Because when your bag passes security without a hitch, your vacation starts the moment you step onto the deck. Now, before we wrap up, a quick reminder. You can grab your free cruise packing checklist link below. It's fully updated for 2025. It's the same checklist I use before every